Good afternoon, NWS Revolution members and viewers in NWS Universe. This is your NWS Head of Talent Relations, Michael Cole. I got the co-owner, board of directors, chairman, one half of the NWS Tag Team Champions, and the NWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller, right here with me. Please introduce yourself, Mikey. Thank you, Michael Cole. Ladies and gentlemen, it is me, one half of your MWS Tag Team Champions, along with the Chief of Staff. Someone asked me, Iowa, and your current MWS World Heavyweight Champion, your MWS Board of Directors Chairman, and your co-owner of the MWS Revolution, Mischief Mikey Miller from Darman Studios. And today, me and Michael Cole are going to give you our MWS Revolution Impact Open Fight Night review. Okay. Take it away, Michael Cole. Thank you, Mischief Mikey Miller. Last night's show was held from Bologna, Italy at the Unipol Arena. And the commentators for the show were the returning Joe Gowley and Dan Knapp. And I also did some commentary we as well. But anyway, let's begin the show, shall we? In the co-owner office of MWS Revolution, co-owner, chairman, and CEO, and board of directors chairman, CEO Scott Kisageo, and MWS board of directors chairman and co-owner. So it says, in this co-owner office of MWS Revolution owner, chairman, and CEO Scott Kisageo, and board of directors chairman and co-owner of MWS Revolution, MWS World Heavyweight Champion Mischief Mikey Miller, and chief of staff, the MWS Hardcore Champion in Iowa, they go over the match card for tonight's show. Mikey tells Scott that he and Iowa, when he and Iowa come back to our office, Scott has to sit on their laps. As part of the MWS co-owner's contract, Scott groans and does a face palm as Mikey and Iowa pat Scott on the back as they get ready to defend the NWS tag team titles. And it was a good way to open the show. And you could see the opening match on the MWS Revolution Impact channel. So it says NWS Tag Team Champions NWS Tag Team Championships Tornado Match, Mischief Mikey Miller and someone asked me Iowa with General Manager Don Callis in the corner, defeated Gaulos, Mark and Joe Coffey. This was a good back and forth match. I really enjoyed counting it. What do you think, Mischief Mikey Miller? It indeed was. You see, me and someone asked me Iowa, IRA, defend the titles every week on Revolution Impact. I mean, don't get me wrong. Joe and Mark Coffey are good tag teams. Gaulos is a good tag team. But me and Iowa just happen to be a little bit better, Michael Cole. That's just a little bit better. I'm still MWS Tag Team Champions, Mischief Mikey Miller, the King of Mischief, and someone asked me Iowa, the King of Hardcore. Really good match. And then the next match was Vinny Joe with MWS Director of Operations. Since Jane Miller defeated Ethan Page, this was a really good back and forth match. You could see this match on this channel, on the NWS Revolution Impact episode. Really good match. And then, in the dimly lit co-owner's office, Mischief Mikey Miller has a tense Scott Kisageo sitting on my lap, where he proceeds to massage Scott's shoulders to make him relax and stay put. Scott tries to leave to return to the show, but Mikey commands him to remain seated and allow himself to be cared for, to which Scott reluctantly agrees. And this is what I say to Mischief Mikey Miller. Relax, my shadow, Scotty boy. Just relax. You look tense. I know you are nervous about our upcoming Hell in a Cell match at Revolution Loaded at the end of this month. But we need to put our differences aside for now and watch Michael Cole interview Iowa. It's going to be a it's going to be it's going on to be fun. And Scott Kisigo says, "Okay, Mikey, I'll relax." I say, "Good boy," as Mikey platonically kisses Scott on the head and continuously massages him. And I'm a good massager. And as Scott Kisigo, I am a really, really good massager. Even though that me and Scott are fielding our enemies in the NWS Revolution, I happen to care for him. Because I am his adopted son and he is my adopted father. So I have to care for Scott Kisigo, even though he's too blind to see it. But he needs another tough love lesson. And Hell in the Cell, I am going to defeat him at Revolution Loaded. Let's see. Let me give you the date of Revolution Loaded. At Sunday, June 28th, 2026 in Las Vegas, Nevada, at the MGM Arena. I, Mischief Mikey Mueller, am going to defeat Scott Kisigo in the main event and the Hell in a Cell match and walk out still the NWS World Heavyweight Champion. Okay, Michael Cole, you may read the next, the next, the next match in the next vignette, the next segment. Thank you, Mr. Mikey Mueller. Okay. It says, title, the Architect's Audience. Location is in backstage area, NWS Revolution. Tell them Michael Cole and someone asked me Iowa. IRA. We are in a sleek, dimly lit backstage interview area. A leather armchair sits opposite a more standard director's chair. NWS Head of Talent Relations Michael Cole sits in the director's chair, tapping a clipboard on his knee. He looks visibly annoyed. Michael Cole, welcome everybody. I'm Michael Cole, Head of Talent Relations here at NWS Revolution. We brought in a hardcore champion and chief of staff, a man who has been making his own rules, both in the ring and in the front office. Someone asked me Ira. But but Ira, as you can see, hasn't bothered to show up to our interview yet. Camera 2 tight shot. A booming laugh echoes down the hallway. Footsteps click heavily on the concrete floor. Someone asks me Ira strolls into the frame completely unbothered, wearing an expensive suit over his Adidas tracksuit wing gear, with the NWS Hardcore Championship draped carefully over his shoulder. He stops, smirks directly into the camera, and then saunters over to the expensive leather armchair. He sinks into it comfortably and puts his designer shoes right on the edge of Michael Cole's knee. Yes, he puts his designer shoes on my knee. Weird kid. Weird kid. Someone asked me, Ira, relax, Mick. The best parts of the show start whenever the chief of staff arrives. You should know that by now. Look at you, all suited up with your little clipboard and worried little frown. What do you want, big guy? Make it quick. I've got a championship to defend, an entire rooster to micromanage. Michael Cole. Let's cut the act, Ira. You are the NWS Hardcore Champion, yes. You are also the Chief of Staff. The locker room is in absolute uproar. The boys in the back feel you are abusing your corporate power, booking yourself in favorable hardcore title matches, booking yourself in favorable hardcore title matches, and completely dodging the number one contenders. How do you justify this corruption? And he goes, and Iowa says, corruption? Oh, Michael, this is such a small mid-card word. That is such a small mid-card word. When you call what you call corruption, I call smart business. I am the chief of staff. I literally am the system. Why would I risk my body in the ring when I can dictate who steps into the squared circle? The locker room is an uproar. Good. That means they care. That means they're looking at boss. The Hardcore Championship proves I can fight anyone, anywhere. The front office title proves I own the entire promotion. What are you gonna do? Fire me? And I say, actually, yes, I have the authority as head of talent relations to strip you of your corporate duties if you continue to operate outside the NWS bylaws. You might be the champion, Ira, but you answer to me. The board of directors are watching. Someone asked me, Ira. The smile intensely drops. He slowly uncrosses his legs and leans in, deadpanning directly into the camera. The board doesn't make me. The board doesn't. Iris says the board doesn't make a move without my signature. You want to strip me of my power? Let's see how long NWS Revolution lasts. When the lights go out, the production trucks don't arrive, and your main event champion goes on corporate leave. You think you made a name for yourself in the wrestling business, Michael? You're just a glorified hype man asking for sound bites. I am the gold. I am the power. And NWS stands for nothing without someone ask me Ira. Ira steer daggers directly into the lens, then pats the NWS Hardcore Championship on his shoulder. He chuckles warmly, breaking the tension with a malicious wink. Michael, Ira, I have to ask you about something that has the entire NWS universe and frankly management completely baffled. We have seen footage backstage. Why do you and the NWS World Heavyweight Champion, NWS co-owner Mischief Mikey constantly make the co-owner Scott Kisegiro sit on your laps? Someone asked me. Ira stops chewing his gum, breaks into a massive smug grin, and chuckles. Oh, Cole, I am so glad you asked. It's called it's called economics. It's called economics and corporate hierarchy. Yeah, I said economics and corporate hierarchy. And I say Lap City is a corporate hierarchy. Someone asked me, absolutely. Look at the data. Look at the data. Mikey Miller is the world heavyweight champion and co-owner. I am the chief of staff and hardcore champion. We represent the literal foundation, the muscle, and the brains of NWS Revolution. Scott Casey Gale, he's great. We love him. He's a luxury asset. There are so many executive leather chairs in the gorilla position, Cole. Michael says, so I say to Ira, so you make a grown man, a co-owner of this company, sit on your lap because of a shortage of chairs? Someone asked me, Ira, leaning forward completely serious. It's it's a spatial awareness, this strategy. When Scott sits on my lap or Mikey's lap, we are showing the world a united corporate front. We are literally supporting him. He gets the best feel in the house, and Mikey and I get to remind him exactly who carries the weight of this company. It's a team building exercise. Plus, it keeps him from wandering off and making terrible booking decisions, Ira says. Michael Cole, it looks incredibly demanding, Ira. Scott looks miserable every time it happens. Someone asked me, Ira, miserable? No. That's that's just his face, Cole. That's just the executive stress. Deep down, Scott knows that sitting on the laps of the champions is the safest place in NWS. Where else is he where else is he going to go? The locker room? They tear him apart. Mikey and I are just practicing good hands on leadership. Literally, as Ira claims. Michael Cole, all right, Ira, just one more thing before you go. The entire NWS universe has been losing its mind over these cryptic, terrifying vignettes. Who is, who is the mastermind behind the They Are Coming video package? Someone asked me. Ira smiles cryptically, slowly standing up from his chair. Oh, Cole, you really want this? You really want the scoop, don't you? You want the big you want that big journalist headline. Iowa steps closer to Cole, leaning down slightly with total confidence. Someone asked me, someone asked me, Iowa responds by saying, I'll tell you this much. The mastermind is someone who is going to change the entire landscape of NWS Revolution forever. But as, but as for the name, you, the locker room, and every single person watching at home are just gonna have to wait and see on August 30th, 2026. I will reach out, giving Cole a condescending, heavy pat on the back. Someone asked me, thanks for the interview, Mike. Great talk. Try to get some better style tips before the 30th. And then someone asked me, Ira says, now, if you excuse me, I have a very important meeting about my next title defense against nobody because I said so. And then Ira violently throws his microphone onto my lap, stands up, and slowly walks out of the frame, laughing maniacally as the heavy bass of the entrance music begins to play. And Wobb's Michael Cole's head stares in the microphone in disbelief, looking and Michael Cole said, and Michael Cole, stare at the microphone in disbelief, looking utterly defeated. Look, I'm not intimidated by someone asked me, Ira. You can put your boots on my lap. You can go ahead and 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 laugh all you want. And you ended up defending your hardcore championship. And unfortunately, I cannot fire someone asked me, Ira, as chief of staff due to his contract being ironclad. I thought I could, but unfortunately I can't because Bishop Mikey Miller here made sure of that. But anyway, I thought it was a very, very intense interview I did. What do you think, Mr. Mikey Miller? Oh, Michael Cole, it was a very intense interview. You see, someone asked me, Ira doesn't mess around. He There's a reason he is the chief of staff, Michael Cole, and you got to respect his decision. You see, Ira defends his hardcore title whenever he wants to defend it. He does double duty. He does double duty and he defended his title against the returning Joe Gowley. And that was just a stepping stone. And I was hardcore title defense. Yes. Match number 3. NWS Chief of Staff. Someone asked me Iowa with General Manager Don Callis in his corner defeated play-by-play commentator Joe Gowley. This was a good back and forth match. I mean, Joe Gowley got got some of Iowa, and Iowa got some of Joe God. This was really, really good. I mean, weapons were involved in this match, but in the end, someone asked me Iowa retained the hardcore championship and proved why he is indeed the king of hardcore, Michael Cole. That's right. He is indeed the king of hardcore. Cool. And And the next match was match number 4, a bonus match. Brian Theory with NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller defeated news member of the Don Callis family, Kevin Knight, with General Manager Don Callis in his corner. The arena is bathed in deep crimson and the gold lights. Pyro erupts from the entrance stage. The Don Callis family graphic, the Don Callis family graphic flashes across the screen. Kevin Knight struts out confidently, adjusting a custom leather jacket. He is flanked by General Manager Don Callis, who barks orders at the ringside crew and holds a steel chair. Close up of Don Callis leaning into the camera, yelling that the MWS belongs to them. Then it switched to a glowing corporate blue and silver logo. Fury makes his explosive entrance to massive hometown pop. He is accompanied by MW's Director of Operations Jaden Miller, who stands stoically at ringside. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, accompanied by Don Callis, he is the Dark Knight, Kevin Knight, as the crowd heavy boos rained down on Knight and Callis. And his opponent, accompanied by Director of Operations Jaden Miller, Brian Theory. The bell rings. Knight tries to use his speed, but Theory cuts him off with a massive a massive clothesline. Fury takes control early with a flurry of chops in the corner. Don Callis climbs up the apron to distract the referee. Jaden Miller sprints over and pulls Callis down from the apron, staring him dead in the eye. Callis backs off, throwing his hands up. The distraction to hit a low blow while the referee is adjusting the turnbuckle pad. Knight locks in a devastating submission hold. Fury is fading out but manages to fight to his feet as the crowd chants his name. Knight signals for his finishing maneuver, attempting the Knight foul chop. Fury reverses mid-air, slipping behind Knight, lands a thunderous Fury hammer DDT on Knight cover 1, 2, 3. And here's your winner, Brian Fury. We, the, we pop goes wild. Fury's music blasts through the speakers. Jaden Miller steps into the ring, handing Fury, raising Fury's arm. Miller raises Fury's arm in victory. Don Callis gathers a frustrated Kevin Knight on the ramp. Callis throws his headset in disgust and glares at the celebration inside the ring. Zoom in on Brian Fury and Jaden Miller standing tall, establishing dominance in the NWS Revolution. This was a really, really good back and forth match. I mean, Brian Fury won, but Kevin Knight is the newest member of the Don Callis family. But anyway, good back and forth match. What do you say, Michael Cole? Oh, it was indeed a good back and forth match. It was indeed. I mean, Brian Fury is proving why he is a member of the American Patriots, which is led by Scott Keesegale. But anyway, good back and forth match. And then NWS Intercontinental United States Championship NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller defeated Sean Spears and a good back and forth match. This match is available on the latest Revolution Impact match. You could see this. You could see it right here on this channel, NWS Revolution. But yeah, Jaden Miller versus Sean Spears was broadcasted here on this channel, so you could definitely see that match. Just go to the latest this Revolution Impact episode. And then, in the co-owner office, Mischief Mikey Miller and someone asked me Ira have Scott Keesegale on their laps, asking him if he is enjoying the show so far. Scott says yes, as they tell him to, as they tell him to, as they tell Scott to get the as they tell Scott to get comfortable because he is the greatest lap warmer of our time. And the new power regime is stronger and powerful than ever as they sign a bunch of NWS executive orders and watch the next match. And it's the co-main event. NWS Undisputed Championship. Bob McGovern, with assistant general manager Paul Heyman in his corner, defeated Noah Higgins from Darman Studios, with NWS Director of Operations Jaden Miller from Darman Studios in his corner. This match was also broadcasted on this channel. To just click on the latest episode of NWS Revolution, in fact, you'll see the co-main event where Bob McGovern defended his NWS Undisputed Championship against Noah Higgins. Yes. And then, in the co-owner office, NWS Chief of Staff someone asked me Ira pulls Scott Keesegale on his lap as Mikey gets ready to defend his World Heavyweight title. Co-owner's office. The energy in the room is the energy in the room is suffocatingly tense. On the wall monitor, the stadium crowd roaring, chanting for the main event. Mr. Mikey Miller stands near the door. It says, Mr. Mikey Miller stands near the door, methodically wrapping his wrists. His World Heavyweight Championship belt sits prominently on his desk. He looks hyper-focused, a man possessed before battle. Scott Keesegale paces back and forth near the couch, a nervous wreck. His eyes dart between the monitor and Mikey. Scott, voice shaking. The crowd is losing their minds out there, Mikey. The heat, it's too much. if management tries to screw us over tonight, Iowa. Someone asked me, Iowa. Lounging company in a large leather executive chair behind the desk cuts him off with a low chuckle. Iowa, Scott, breathe. You're going to give yourself a heart. Iowa says to Scott, Scott, breathe. You're going to give yourself a heart attack before the main before the before he even hits. And someone asked me, Iowa, I says Scott, breathe. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack before he even hits the curtain. Scott stops pacing, turning towards Iowa defensively. Scott, I'm serious, Iowa. Iowa Scott says. The stakes have never been this high. We can't afford a single mistake. Before Scott can spin into another ink sweat, Iowa reaches out, grabs Scott by the wrist, and firmly pulls him straight down onto his lap. Scott gasped, completely caught off guard. He freezes, his hands resting awkwardly on Iowa's chest. Scott, Iowa, what are you doing? Let me up. I need to check on the ringside security. Iowa's arms wrapped securely around Scott's waist, locking him in place. His voice is smooth, a sharp, a sharp contrast to the chaos brewing outside the room. Iowa, sit, Scott. Stay put. You're pacing like a trapped animal. What isn't helping anyone. Least of all the champ. Scott squirms slightly, but realizes Iowa isn't letting go. He looks over to Mikey, looking for backup. Mikey, tell him to let me go. Mikey doesn't even look up from wrapping his wrist. A faint, confident smirk tugs at the corner of his mouth. Mikey says, listen to the chief of staff, Scott. Stay right there. Keep him warm for me while I go handle business. Mikey finishes the wrap, snaps the tape with his teeth, and walks over to the desk. He lifts the heavy gold title belt, slinging it over his shoulder. Okay, this is Mikey finishes the wrap, snaps the tape with his teeth, and walks over to the desk. He lifts the heavy gold title belt, slinging it over his shoulder. He stops by the chair, looking down Scott, resting on Iowa's lap, and pats Scott gently on the cheek. Mikey says, "Don't watch the monitor. Don't watch the monitor too closely. I don't want you fainting." Iowa tightens his grip on Scott, leaning his chin slightly on Scott's shoulder. Iowa, go get him, champ. We'll be right here. Mikey nods, turns on his heel, and kicks the office door open, stepping out to the Warring Arena corridor. Scott sighs, finally sinking a bit more into Iowa's lap. His resistance fading. Iowa just smiles, resting his hands comfortably over Scott's chest as they turn their attention to the TV screen. Yes, both Mischief Mikey Mueller and someone asked me Iowa like to make Scott Kisagel sit in the lap. It's weird, but it is what it is. Mikey, go ahead. Take away the main event. Thank you for understanding, Michael Cole. Yeah, hold it. Thank you for understanding, Michael Cosi. All that Iowa was doing was calming a nervous Scott Kisagale down. Scott Kisagale has a habit of trying to run away. Scott Kisagale has a habit of pacing back and forth. And the chief of staff, someone asked me, Iowa was just calming Scott Kisagale down. Scott Kisagale was so tense last night. And Scott, don't worry, you still will wrestle here in the NWS Revolution. But but the 50-50 contract says you have to have my permission on whenever to wrestle. I'm doing this for your own good, Scott Casey. You are my adopted father, Scott Casey, and I love you. I'm showing you love, but I'm showing you tough love. That's what me and Iowa are doing, Scott, and you gotta understand that. Now, let's read the main event. Main event, MWS World Heavyweight Championship ladder match. MWS Board of Directors, Chairman and co-owner of MWS Revolution, Mischief Mikey Miller with General Manager Don Callis in his corner defeated Jay Lawson. This was a good back and forth ladder match, and this match was indeed broadcasted on the latest episode of NWS Revolution Impact, which you can check out on this channel. But yeah, me and Jay Lawson have history. We were former friends. I've known Jay Lawson since junior high school, but I had to defeat him because Jay Lawson was running his mouth against me, and I defeated him fair and square. Michael Cole, fair and square. You could definitely see that match on this channel on the latest episode of NWS Revolution Impact. Definitely check it out because you will love it. And then after the match, Mikey, gets on the mic and says next week will be an official contract signing between me and Scott Kisageo to make the Hell in a Cell match for my World Heavyweight Championship at Revolution Loaded official. Mikey then says Scott cannot lay a hand on me until Revolution Loaded. Mikey say, Scott's worst nightmare has just begun, and they will be coming as he drops the mic in the co-owner's office was Iowa. Someone asked me Iowa, IRA. Someone asked me Iowa. Still has Scott on his lap, saying Revolution Heatwave, the power of NWS Revolution will change face as we know it, and it will be a brand new era as the They Are Coming logo flashes, stating 8/30/2026, which is August 30th, 2026. With intense music playing as the show goes off the air. And what a way to end the show. Yes, they are coming. I already explained they are coming, meaning what it means yesterday on this channel. As me and General Manager Don Callis explained the meaning of they are coming. But we're not going to find out who the members are until August 30th, 2026. And the mastermind will reveal himself. That's right. The mastermind will reveal himself, Michael Cole. It's going to be intense. It's going to have NWS Revolution fans buzzing. The NWS universe is going to be buzzing. NWS Revolution Heatwave is the pay-per-view of the summer, the end of the summer pay-per-view. You definitely got to watch it because it's definitely going to shock the world, Michael Cole. And it's going to shock the world like it's never shocked the world before. We've had so many hostile takeovers here in the NWS Revolution. The NWS Avengers, with the Deadly Renegade Society, but this threat is gonna be even bigger than the NWS Avengers and the NWS that and so but this threat is gonna be even bigger and powerful than the NWS Avengers, no disrespect, and the Deadly Renegade Society, no disrespect, but this is gonna be the most powerful force here in the NWS Revolution. So Scott Kisageo has just got to understand what I meant. You see, Scott Kisageo needs to understand that there's going to be a new hostile takeover here in the NWS Revolution. And there's nothing he can do to stop it. I am doing this for his own good. I am protect me and someone asked me Iowa are protecting Scott Kisageo. That's why we make him sit on our laps to protect him, to calm him, to keep him from to prevent him from getting nervous because he needs to understand what this new power regime is all about. And you too gotta understand, Michael Cole. But anyway, I would rate last night's Revolution Impact 5 stars, 2 thumbs up, way up, and a solid 10 out of 10, and an A triple plus. Yes. What about you, Michael Cole? I indeed thought it was a good Revolution Impact. Come on, Michael Cole. What do you think? I indeed thought it was a really good Revolution Impact. I would rate it 10. I would rate it 5 stars, a solid 10 out of 10, H plus. Good show, very, very good show. But what does this they are coming mean? What does it mean? And how is it going to change the face of the NWS Revolution as we know it? What's going to happen? Who are the members? Who are the members? Anyway, This is Michael Cole signing off. And next week, Joe Gowdy, Dan Abbott, and Mischief Mikey Miller will give you their Revolution Impact review. Thank you for watching. Well, Michael Cole, as I said, you just gotta wait and see. It's gonna shock the world, and it's gonna be the biggest threat the NWS Revolution has had. And this is your NWS Board of Directors Chairman, your co-owner of the NWS Revolution, one half of the NWS Tag Team Champions, and your NWS World Heavyweight Champion, Mischief Mikey Miller, signing off. Have a good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for watching. End video.